With the NBA trade deadline happening tomorrow, here are three trades I would like to see before then. Number 1 is a highly rumored and expected trade of D'Angelo Russell to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Russell, Cat, and Devin Booker have expressed their friendship and interest in playing together. D'Lo rumors are everywhere, and Minnesota needs the help. They came out strong out of the gate, yet have had recent struggles, landing them at 14th in the West, just ahead of the Warriors. Because of Minnesota's struggles, they most likely are going to want to keep their 2020 first-round pick. They will try to use future picks and other teams' draft picks in a potential deal. For Golden State, I think they're just trying to find the best return for D'Lo. They really have no use for him once the Splash Bros return. A potential deal would look like this: D'Angelo Russell and Eric Pascal to Minnesota, Gorgui Dieng, Jarrett Culver, and Jake Layman, a 2022 first and a 2022 second, which is a swap best with Philly or Denver. This trade would work financially, and the Golden State Warriors would be happy to have a center in Dieng and two players with decent potential in Culver and Layman. Minnesota would get their potential guard and a solid power forward in Pascal to round out their starting five and give them a solid lineup to compete against other teams in the West. Number 2 is Derrick Rose to the Lakers. This trade is tough to work out because the step-in rule, the salary cap, and the amount of no-trade clauses on the Lakers roster. The Lakers have a lot of large contracts, making this deal tough. Detroit would be looking for draft assets or players with potential. LA can't move too many assets because they lost a lot in the AD trade, and their only player with interesting potential is Kyle Kuzma. A potential trade would look like this: the Lakers get Derrick Rose, and Detroit gets Avery Bradley, Kyle Kuzma, and a 2023 first-round pick. LA can't give up a first until 2023 due to the step-in rule from the Pelicans AD trade. I doubt Laker management cares, they just want to win now. LeBron will have no problem trading Kuzma, and Avery Bradley's minutes could be easily eaten up by KCP, Danny Green, or even Troy Daniels. Detroit would be eager to accept this trade as they get a high-potential player in Kyle Kuzma, which will be interesting to see how he does out of LA, as we've seen the success of Brandon Ingram out of LA and in New Orleans, and a draft pick to help start their rebuild. My third trade is JJ Redick to Boston. Boston has assets, and the Pelicans need to move JJ Redick. There's no point in New Orleans making a playoff push. It's better for them to just improve their draft stocks. With Zion's return, they have been 3-4, and it's hard to accommodate him to the current amount of players, and it's just time to let it go and work on for next year. Potential trade would look like this: JJ Redick to Boston, Enes Kanter, Daniel Theis, and a 2022 Atlanta second-round pick to New Orleans. Boston would get a veteran, a great shooter who has playoff experience, and the Pelicans would free up cap space, as well as gain an Atlanta second-round pick, which is pretty much a first-round pick since the Hawks have struggled recently. And this would be great just because JJ Redick would get to keep his streak of playoff appearances alive. He has never missed a playoff in his career. And for a special bonus trade that I don't expect will ever happen, and definitely not this year, Ben Simmons and D'Angelo Russell swap. The Warriors would probably have to add picks to please Philly. When you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Ben Simmons with Golden State and all their shooters, once Curry and Clay are healthy, it would be impressive to see what he could do. And D'Angelo Russell with Embiid was similar to him with Cat, as we mentioned earlier. It would definitely be interesting because Simmons and Embiid kind of butt heads and get in their way, limiting 76ers from making a good run and having a chance at a championship. But let me know what you think about all these deals in the comments, and especially if you have thoughts on that last one. I think it's one of those things that's interesting to think about and even simulate in 2K.